Hey guys, Tom Wolf here. Tonight we're going to talk about coach placement. And so anyway, when I first started with Beachbody, I had no idea that it was a network marketing company. And so I had to learn all about what network marketing companies do and how they earn money. And so it was all really unique and interesting to me. But I used the training videos in the training library, and I figured it out, and I had help from my upline coaches. And so anyway, just want to share mostly some tips with you as far as strategies go, because you really should know your basics of genealogy. But I will go through it, but I'll just go through it quickly so that you can see it. But I more want to talk about a couple of strategies that are kind of important. So the B that I have here at the top is actually my upline sponsor coach. That's Brandy Botts. And if you don't know who Brandy Botts is, she was one of the top 10 coaches a year ago and has a huge, huge downline. And in fact, in the downline that I am a part of, she has multiple 15-star coaches that are just really cranking in this business. So that's kind of a cool thing. But it's important for all of us to determine which of our legs are the strong leg. So Beachbody is a binary system where there are two legs that we work off of, right? And so you got to figure out which one's the strong one, which one's the weak one, because one cycle that we get paid from is 200 on one side and 100 on the other. So there's some strategy that goes along with that. All right, so when you figure out which is your strong leg, for me, you can clearly see that Brandy has placed me here and that she's adding coaches down here, okay? And I'll be adding coaches in there as well. Some will be mine, some will be hers, but hers goes forever. So this is my strong leg, the left one, right? Now, my right leg is my weak leg. So what I did is, on my weak leg, I placed my wife. Sean is right there. And I placed my son-in-law, Jeff, who is a business builder, here on the strong leg, because I figured he could take advantage of the residual income through Brandy Botts' organization, and I would be building through my wife's business, and that would give me some control. All right, so from there, once we get started, that makes me an Emerald coach, right? Qualified for $14 for every cycle that my business makes. And so as my goal was to reach Diamond, I strategized that it would be better for me to build on my weak leg first, as opposed to on my strong leg first. So I let Jeff do his thing over here, and I built here on my right leg. I added PS coaches down here, okay? Boom, like that, okay? And once I got my 4 over on my weak leg, then I started building, adding to Jeff, who was my first one. I added 3 more. And then Jeff became an Emerald as he added his wife here, who is my daughter. And then he added another coach over here. So not only is Brandy adding over here and I'm adding over here, but Jeff's adding over here, and then Brandy's coaches are adding over here. So the residual income starts to really add up through there. So that's one of the reasons why I built my weak leg first, so that I could take advantage of some of that residual as it's coming through as I'm growing towards Diamond. Even so, to become a Diamond coach, you have to have 4 coaches on each leg, and you need 1 of those coaches on each leg to be an Emerald. So that's balanced. So even though I had to build balanced, I built the weak leg first to take advantage of some residual income. Okay, does that make sense? All right. Now, the other thing I did was I tried to figure out who my business builders were going to be, and I tried to place them over here on my weak side to try and catch up with some of this residual that's flowing through here in ridiculous dollar amounts that I'm trying to catch up with and I'll never catch up with, right? And then I tried to put discount coaches or coaches that weren't likely to build much of a business over on the strong side. But reality is, you never really know. I don't know how many times I said, this is the one, this is the coach that's going to really build like crazy, and how many times that doesn't happen. Yeah, it happens to all of us. So don't worry about it. But anyway, you can get an educated idea as to what the intentions of that coach is when they sign up. All right. So the other, I want to help you with sort of wrapping your head around the idea that your organization may seem out of balance, right? So if you feel like, oh, there's so much residual on one side and so little on the other, look at it as a blessing, because once you have achieved your rank, you know exactly where to place your coaches. You need to focus all of your energy on the weak leg, okay? Does that make sense? Right? That's where it goes. And then your income is going to be based on how much residual income you build on that weak side. And so view it as a good thing, because if you didn't have a strong leg, you could be balanced and say that you've managed it. But the fact of the matter is, you're having to build both sides to keep the structure. And it does happen. So let's talk about that for a minute. Let's talk about keeping support for our team members. Every time you place a coach, you want to place them on an outside leg. Now, I know you only have 2 legs, but for example, when I place Shauna here on my right leg, then all we need to worry about is she needs to build this leg here, right? And I'll build the outside. Now, since I'm running her business, it's a little bit different, because I'm adding coaches over here too to help her business. So let's say this coach right here. This coach, I continue to add coaches down here, and this person will add some down here to get balance so they're emerald and then diamond, right? But eventually, this will become their strong leg. It's my weak leg over here, but it's their strong leg over here. And this is their weak leg right here, which they will be building on, right? Now, if I place a coach over here, one of my PS coaches, and this person quits the business, it's possible that this coach will be stranded with no upline help. And when that happens, then they have to build both their right and their left legs. What we do as a team is basically, I'm building everything out here, and these coaches are responsible for building those. So I'm building their right leg, they're responsible for building their left leg, right? But we stay to the outside. If you tuck and start adding coaches to the inside to even things out, it messes everything up. It's better just stay far right and stay far left, and your coaches will then build their own organization here. You'll be building on the outside here. Does that make sense? So there are coaches who have had to build both legs. Lindsay Matway is one. She's actually one of the top coaches in the company, and she built both of her legs. She didn't have a strong leg, and she didn't have an upline coach that helped her and gave her suggestions or advice on how to build a business, or added any coaches into her downline. All right, so let's see. The basics of earning money is hitting cycles. You know, commissions is good for some of your money, but in the long run, the majority of your money comes through residual income. And it's kind of like a rocket ship taking off. It takes 80 or 90% of the rocket fuel just to get the rocket off the ground. Once the rocket's off the ground, it takes very little left to keep it in orbit. So remember that principle as you're working hard in the beginning of this business, because we do work hard. This is a business, right? So we work. But the beauty of it is over time, it really starts to pay off. And if you take a vacation and are not working your business for a week or whatever, there's still residual income coming up through your line and you're getting paid, which is a really cool thing. Beats the heck out of punching a clock, and when you're gone on vacation, you don't punch and you don't get paid. So anyway, there's that. Now, the last thing I want to suggest to you is that be very intentional about placing your coaches. Have strategy, use the system somewhat like what I've given you, and make sure and go to your back office, go to Graphical Genealogy. There's other ways. There's another way to do it, but this is the easiest way, and it's the way that I like to do it because I'm visual. And then I go bottom right or bottom left, and I click on that little empty buddy. And when it turns red and says, is this where you want to place the coach? You say yes. And it stays red. You know that's where your coach is going. If for some reason you get a coach placed in the wrong spot, which has happened to me 2 or 3 times as I was learning. When I started, it was 72 hours. I've heard it's now 5 business days you have to call Coach Relations, contact them. You're going to need to send them an email and be very specific. Give them the name of the person you want to move, their coach number, tell them the name of the coach with the coach number that you want them placed under, and say on their right leg or on their left leg. So be specific and be intentional. But if you check it before you place coaches, then you're better off. But every once in a while, somebody might sign up to be a coach under you and you don't even know it, and you decide you want to move them, then you've got that time period to move them. So I think that's it for today. If you've got questions about this video or about other things that I didn't talk about, comment, ask the questions there, and I will answer them for you as we go along. Hope this was helpful. Thanks a lot.